with me today is Nashville's very own singer-songwriter, Rick Beresford. Rick, how you doing this morning?
I am doing fantastic. I could not be better, and I'll explain as you ask me questions. You'll figure out why.
Okay, good. Well, Rick,
leave a little mystery.
Yeah, right. We know you from a few things. One, you've done a lot of work with John McDonald, so that's one way. We know you from your own singer-songwriter days in Nashville. You had a hit single come out. I'll let you talk about that in a minute. And right now, you're kind of into the trop rock scene. But so here's what let's start this way. You're out of Nashville. How long have you been in Nashville?
I've been in Nashville since 1978.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's 47 years?
47
like
years.
That.
Okay. All right, and you have a big hit single that you wrote for a guy by the name of George Jones. Am I right?
That is correctamundo.
Oh, my gosh. And okay, so which hit was that, sir? Which hit?
If drinking don't kill me, her memory will.
And that was all you. And that song brought him back for his big comeback. And wow. And I bet, you know what? I bet you were so. How many times do you go, wow, I just sold this to George Jones?
I'll tell you, that song has a long story. I don't know if you want to hear it, but that song was the first song I got cut when I moved to Nashville.
So it was right out of the box, huh? You were like,
it was
boom,
right
out
of the box, right out of the box. I co-wrote it with Harlan Sanders, who we affectionately called Handsome Harlan Sanders, not the Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. This was the hit songwriter, entertainer, comedian guy who lived in Nashville, of course. Yeah.
So you get the call, you make the big, you got some mailbox money coming in, and you think, well, I'm going to have hit after hit after hit. Did you hit any other big ones, or is that like the one?
No, well, that was the big one. I also got songs cut by Don Williams, the Everly Brothers, Brenda Lee, John Conley, Mickey Gilley, George Hamilton IV, blah, blah, blah. I had a single on Williams, Don Williams in England, of all places, that did nicely. And I had a single on John Conley called Harmony, which got top 10. So I got 2 BMI awards, the Harmony Award and, of course, the If Drinking Don't Kill Me Award.
So it's amazing. So a lot of songwriters get to Nashville. It's a tough town. I mean, you did really, really well. And then not only can you sing, songwrite, you then became a teacher. Am I right? At Belmont?
That is correct. What happened was, after writing in Nashville, I'm going to say it's around 1985, I had Music Row burnout, where I was just sick and tired of trying to predict what the producers wanted to hear, what the radio station wanted to hear, what the artist wanted to hear, what the AR team wanted to hear. And I said, you know what, I am just so over this. And then right along that time, well, exactly at that time, the Kerrville Folk Festival asked me to teach a 3-day seminar on songwriting. And I went, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And never had done that before. And so I did a lot of studying. There was one book out by Davis. Sheila Davis had a book about songwriting, the only one I could find. So I did a bunch of notes and went there. And, I bought the book. I went to the Kerrville Folk Festival. And it turns out that Bob Gibson was the director. Well, I didn't know that. I thought I was going to be doing it on my own. So I had 3 days of really studied stuff to do with these songwriters. And they were so impressed with what I did in my preparation that they made me a permanent member of the staff. And then 5 years later, Bob retired and I became the director. And then I also became the founding curriculum director of the Nashville Songwriters Association International, called NSAI. I became the founder of that. I came to, at the time, it was Pat Rogers was the director of the NSAI, and I came to Pat one day because I loved teaching. I loved it so much, and so I said,
Wow.
you guys don't have any songwriting school. Would you like to talk about that? And she said, would I like to talk about it? Let's put something together. And so we put a bunch of camps together, and I was director of the curriculum, while she was director of the personnel who would show up. She did the booking of the and so I did that for like 20 some years, and then I was at a
this is great.
I know. And then as the universe would have it, I was at a garage sale in South Nashville, and I saw a bunch of sheet music. And I said, what's going on with the sheet music? He says, my husband teaches at Belmont. He's a whatever, he plays blah blah. I said, that's interesting. I play guitar and I sing and I teach songwriting for the NSAI. And she says, you teach songwriting? I said, yeah. She said, Belmont's looking for a songwriting teacher.
Holy
I guess you
cow.
call him
Right
professor.
place, right time. Yeah, the universe.
So I applied yesterday. You know what I mean? I was literally driving home, figuring it out, calling them up, and they accepted me. They took me, and I taught there for 22 years. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, really, it was wonderful. So I had a wonderful career doing that, and also teaching, like individual seminars. Like I could go to Key West and teach a one-day seminar, two-day seminar, whatever. And I teach privately. I coach songwriters individually. I call it instructional co-writing. Is what I do.
So are you still doing any teaching, or you kind of don't do that anymore?
Yes. I'm semi-retired, but I still have private clients, and I still teach seminars. I just got through with one 2 days ago, teaching at Vanderbilt University School of Music, or the Blair School of Music. I gave them. I do a thing. I also do a thing for the Los Angeles Songwriter School. And I specialize in deconstructing modern country hits, because in LA they don't really
Yeah, they don't.
They're not. They don't. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, they don't. I lived there for a while. They don't. Yeah.
So what I do is I try to get them totally in touch with the modern techniques of songwriting in Nashville. I call it the trenches of love, down there on Music Row. Yeah.
Okay, so this is crazy. Let me just ask you a really quick question. Okay, so how old were you when you first got to Nashville? This is just a timeline for people. How old were you when you got to Nashville?
I got to Nashville from Austin. I had been playing in Austin in the Armadillo World Headquarters and crazy stuff down there. I was playing with Willie and Waylon and just having a great time. I was the leader of a band called Rick Casual and the Kitchen Band, having fun. And then Linda Hargrove heard me at a songwriting contest, which I lost. And she said to me, Linda's a famous songwriter in Nashville. She was one of the judges. And she said, your song was fantastic. And it was the only country song. All the other ones were folk songs. And I said, yeah, that's because it's a folk. They're all folkies, the judges were. She says, would you like to be a songwriter in Nashville? I said, well, yeah, I guess. She said, give me that song. So she went back to Nashville, and Pete Drake was her publisher. Now, those people that read the record labels will know that Pete Drake is a world-famous steel guitar player. He played with the Beatles. He played with George Harrison. He played with there's a guy that you may know, Bob Dylan. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah. And so he was very famous, and he got on the phone and says, hey, you got more songs like that? He's from Georgia. Had a thick Georgia accent. And I said, yeah, Pete, I've got more. She said, well, you send them on to me. What do you? And we'll see if maybe you want to come to Nashville and be a songwriter. And sure enough, man, he hired me. 1978, I moved to Nashville.
How old were you? How old were you when you just picked up and said, I'm going to go to Nashville?
I was about 34, maybe
really?
around 34.
So you weren't that young. You were like older when you finally said, I'm going to Nashville.
Yeah.
Never too late.
Right, and this is one thing I want to clear up. Back when I moved there in '78, there was a small little clique of weirdos that were songwriters.
Yeah.
It was not a big deal. It was a small little inner group of songwriters. So when I got all those cuts, it wasn't that difficult because there weren't that many songwriters. There might have been
not a lot of competition.
There wasn't. I mean, there was competition, absolutely and totally for sure. But there was, there might have been like a couple of hundred really good songwriters. But now there's thousands of great songwriters in Nashville. So while I was getting all those cuts in the late 70s, early 80s, it was, I was part of the inner circle. I was there with writing for Pete Drake. Then I wrote for the Oak Ridge Boys. I switched to Silverline Music, which was owned and run by the Oak Ridge Boys. And I had a couple of cuts. That's when I got my John Connolly cut, which was a single. It was also the title cut of his album. And then from there, I slowly got Music Row Burnout because it got a lot more serious as the competition got harder and harder. I could really feel the pressure, like they were saying, Rick, you got to write hits. And I'm kind of a left field writer. I write, my influences are James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, Bob Marley, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, that kind of thing. And Hank Williams, Senior,
some real music.
And Merle Haggard was, is one of the greatest heroes, the greatest singer-songwriters of all time. Merle the Pearl. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
No, let me ask you a question. Okay, so you have had this amazing career. I mean, really blessed, talent, all of it, whatever you want to say. The universe worked in your way. You sold songs, you wrote songs, you performed songs, then you taught how to write music. You're still going, you're still doing it. Then all of a sudden, I got your name and number from John McDonald, who you have been working with. And how did you get into the trop rock kind of situation here? Because let's tell everybody, you and John won the TRMA Wave Award for the Single of the Year, Islandology. So how did you and John McDonald, get together? How did you become a part of the trop rock world?
Yeah, it's real simple. He was a student of mine. Way back in the 90s, he went to the NSAI song camp. And then he became a client of mine, a private client, and I was helping him. I was doing the instructive co-writing, and then we became songwriting partners. Because as it turns out, most people I work with become friends of mine. Yep. I just can't help it. I'm a happy guy. I love people, and it kind of rubs off on them. And before you know it, my client is now my best friend.
But this is how you make relationships in the business.
Yeah. So
and you're not fake about it. So you're friends. You're saying you're friends.
Right.
You were your student, but then you became friends.
Yeah. And then he said, would you like to help me write all these an album? And I said, sure, let's do it. And so that started the whole thing. So he went from client to co-writer. And now
so you helped out with some of these songs on the Everything's Jake Sullivan?
Not some of them, all of them. Yeah.
All of them.
We co-wrote every single one. Yeah. We formed a partnership like Lennon and McCartney. We co-write. We co-write everything. You know.
He's got this new Christmas in July album coming out.
Yep.
Did you do anything on there?
All of them.
All
Unless,
of them.
of course, it's all of the songs that were written by John were co-written by me. We're a writing team, like I said, like a Lennon McCartney. We're
awesome.
a team. He won't write without me, and I won't write the trop rock stuff without him. Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're a team, and I actually love trop rock. I think it's so much fun. It's kind of like Key West version of K-pop. You know, it's just fun. It is a lot of fun.
And
so,
being this seasoned guy who knows how to write, and you love our genre, which is amazing and great, and you're saying the exact words. It is fun. It is fun.
It
now
is.
You told me you guys
the people that are involved in it are also fun. You know, that's the other reason. You know, I've not met one person in the trop rock arena that's grumpy.
Yeah, you're right. Probably.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's got a beer in their hand with a cooler. You know, a beer cooler, and they've got a Hawaiian shirt, and they're just ready to kick back in their lawn chair and get up and dance a little bit and. You know, eat some popcorn and,
whatever else is there, Jello shot. Yeah.
Smoked mullet.
Okay, so what are you doing these days? Tell us what's going on. Can I just tell everybody?
Okay.
Before we started this, you said, I'm 80 years old. You're 80 years old.
Right. But
I'm
what
are you doing these days?
Well, first of all, I got to tell you, I'm 80 years old going on 17, okay?
Yeah.
And my wife will verify that. I have never. I'm one of these people that's a Peter Pan. I've never learned how to or wanted to know how to grow up. I've always been a kid in my brain, in my heart, in my soul, and songwriting has allowed me the privilege of never growing up. So I'm just a kid hanging out. Imagining stuff all day long. That's all I do is I think up silly stuff all day long. I just call it daydreaming. I make my living daydreaming. So what am I doing now? Yeah.
What are you doing now? Tell us. Are you performing? You just told me. What are you doing now? This is what we want to tell everybody. What is your
okay?
What are you doing now?
Okay. Are you sitting down?
I am.
I am. Okay. First, I am living the best life and the biggest bliss I have ever lived in my entire life. In my entire life, my sweet bride has allowed me the courtesy and the time to be my full creative self. I am now writing songs for the first time in, what did we say, 46 years? Before I came to Nashville, I wrote on my own only. I did not co-write. I learned how to. I was forced into co-writing actually, when I moved to Nashville because they wanted songs turned out. Come on. They wanted 3 or 4 songs a week. You know, so for the first time in 46 years, I'm writing by myself, for myself. I am going to put a project out, and it will be on Spotify. It will be on Apple Music, and I'm not sure what it's going to be called yet. But I'm writing songs for me.
Where can we find you? Like, where can we find you?
You can find me at, first of all, I have a website, rickberesford.net, but it will lead you to my email, which is mysongcoach, like sing a song, mysongcoach@gmail.com. That's where I am.
Okay.
And
I'm going to put that on the social media as well.
Okay, thank you. I cannot tell you, Renee, how happy I am. I'm just so excited about every day when I wake up. I just cannot wait to get to my guitars and to get to my pens and my paints and my pastels and
All right. Well, you know what, Rick? Thank you so much for being on my show. I want you to have a great rest of the summer. And right now I'm going to play Rick and John McDonald's Song of the Year, the Sing of the Year. from our Wave of War Islandology.